What a lovely day. The sky is blue, everything's happy in the garden, everything's rosy. Conor McGreevy's with us. Hello, sir. How are you?
Good morning, not too bad.
Youngest SDLP, youngest councillor in the history of council and all of that. Well, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but
Well,
you'll allow me the poetic license to
I will.
do.
Yes, absolutely.
You've come to tell us today that Narrowwater Bridge is gone. No, that's not. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I know. Well, I mean,
I don't want to walk you into that one.
Well,
but it's problematic anyway, and
it's dragging on. It's
dragging on, but still, it's not yet gone.
It's not yet gone, but unfortunately, we have to live in the real world too, Ron.
Yeah.
The longer this goes on, the more
less
likely, you know, and it's very disappointing. It seems to be the slow no, where
the
slow no, Dublin government are saying, we'll fund it as long as the executive puts some money in, and we all know.
Isn't it appalling that the Northern Ireland executive will not do that? Because this is a major infrastructural project, and we know from infrastructural projects that they go towards guaranteeing an economic future that's worthwhile.
That's right.
And quite apart from anything else, a marvellous opportunity for the Unionists to say we love the Catholics and put that myth out of the way once and for all.
I think, Ron, it's systemic of the failures that are happening at the minute on the Hill, where the two main parties can't agree on anything.
Yeah.
We've seen the Maze collapse. We've got Haas over here now, of course, talks over parades and flags, all the rest. Exactly.
How we should behave ourselves.
Instead of getting down and getting our own thing.
We're in the kindergarten. These guys are there, the teachers. I want to tell you how you guys ought to behave, says Haas. I don't want you to tell me how to behave, Mr. Haas. I know how to behave, and I suspect you do as well, Connaire.
Absolutely. It's political maturity is what we need now, but we need development, and we're not getting it, Ron. It's very disappointing.
Yeah. I didn't deliberately throw that at you. That wasn't meant to, because I knew you were well fit to handle it.
I should have known.
No, it didn't bother on you.
No,
but 25,000 that was spent on the mayor's parlour up there. You're not happy about that?
No, and I suppose to start off, it's not a political comment by me. It's more down to how we procure and how we do our business and the governance of council. And whenever I raised it, Rowan, in council there 3 weeks ago, I highlighted three things in particular. The first thing was that we had a new logo for the Gullion Cooley geotourism project, which cost £3,500. And printers and designers out there were telling me that the specification wasn't great and that they could have done it for £400, £500. So that said to me, there's something wrong there. And then
but you also have consultants in, don't you?
Well, that's the thing too. I don't think consultants were used for that one.
No.
But, yes, you're right. There's consultants used for various projects.
I thought there were consultants in for the mayor's parlour.
Yes, there was, maybe it's not consultants the right word, an interior designer was employed. Now, do we need an interior designer for a room that's, it's smaller in this studio?
Yeah.
So whatever size
you mentioned a lick of paint.
A lick of paint would have been perfect for it, especially in light of where we are with the review of public administration, the merge of the councils.
And how much
where's the future? £25,500 has been spent. We've got two-seater sofas costing £800, single chairs.
How many sofas were there before?
There was one sofa and 2 chairs or 3 chairs maybe.
And were they worn to a frazzle? Were they loved to emptiness? Were the springs sticking up through them?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, don't get me wrong. The mayor's room is the front reception of council. If there's a visitor coming, that's fine. But it wasn't in such a state where we had to spend £25,500 of ratepayers' money. A lick of paint would have done it, in my opinion, especially where we are today. We spent that amount of money, you wouldn't spend it in your own living room.
Yeah.
And we are charged by the ratepayers to make sure we get value for money, to make sure we are delivering for them and make sure that the rates are at a reasonable rate. We're seeing now, Newry and Mourne's one of the highest regions for rates not being paid. People can't afford it. So how can we justify spending that sort of money?
But we could have got, I'm just thinking of, I buy furniture for my apartment when I have to. £1,500 bought me the finest 4 5-seater settee in the whole world of settees from Raymond out the Belfast Road.
Yep.
And you can go in these places, you can go on the television and they're saying we'll deliver for you for Christmas, and you're paying £600 for something. There must be an awful lot of settees to take us up to 25,000.
Unfortunately, it's not. It's one settee and 2 chairs.
One settee, 2 chairs. What sort of chairs? Armchairs?
Yeah, but similar to what you have there.
This here? And then the
Different colour.
the paint is done?
Well, there's big cupboards went in too, £5,500 on a cupboard, there's £800 on curtains. You know, this is something that we didn't need to spend that sort of money on.
Was it discussed in advance of the expenditure?
Back in January, February time, there was a report came to council at a staff and policy meeting that sought an agreement to upgrade the MERS room. Now, normal procedure would be, yes, we'll agree to upgrade, we'll come back, we'll get a report as to exactly what's going to take place and
You
what that
must have
cost is
got
going to
that.
be. No, I haven't seen it.
But I mean, sure, how can, you were virtually giving people a blank check.
That's what I'm saying. It goes back to the governance, how we conduct our business in the council. Now, on Thursday we held a meeting at my request to do with procurement. We have categories of procurement up to £2,000. Essentially, officers are charged to ensure they get best value for money. A lot of this expenditure in the MERS room was all under £2,000 each bit of it.
Oh, yeah.
Therefore, I don't believe we got value for money. I believe that procedure's wrong. That's now going to be reviewed. We can't go backwards, unfortunately,
No.
but that's going to be reviewed going forward. Also, the other point I was making was that 70% of this money was spent outside Newry and Mourne.
Oh, come on.
Absolutely.
You obviously you must have bought the settees down with Oriel Furnishings in the Middle Bank.
Came from Belfast. This is something else I highlighted. 70% of the money spent outside Newry and Mourne. We've got a buy local campaign. We're talking about promoting local businesses in Crossmaglen, Kilkeel, Newry, Warrenpoint, etc. And 70% of it goes outside this district. And then we're told that the chairs are so bespoke that they couldn't be got here.
Oh, bespoke.
Bespoke chairs. So we've got McCabe's out the road, we've got Hogs out the road, and all these other places, Hardy's down in Kilkeel, etc. You know, and we can't find these bespoke chairs or something very similar to them. Rowan, you can see my anger in this one.
I'm allowing myself 7 seconds of laughter yoga.
Maybe I should take us to yoga.
I needed that.
I know.
Or I would have exploded.
I know.
This beggars belief that we're. You know, so we know of the debacle over the chamber. Lots of wee £2,000 are allowed to be spent under the present system.
Yes.
But take all the lots of wees and put them into the major one, the 25,000. Then that should have been gone out to contract. It should have been like.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that's the question I've asked. Above £25,000, we're meant to tender.
Yeah.
Now, I know the auditor now has got wind of this and is now looking into it.
Yeah.
Because that is a project in itself.
Yeah.
It's a room. It's been upgraded.
Yeah.
It's now over £25,000 of expenditure.
Yeah.
Should it have gone out to tender? Should we have had a proper specification drawn up?
At the very least, let's forget about going out to tender. At the very least, what should have happened here was that we think it's necessary for this to happen. We think it's necessary. Andrew, look, eyes there, please. We think it's necessary to upgrade the place. We think it should be done. We accept it should be done. Thereafter, we invite our officers to bring to us the schedule of work,
Yes.
to define what needs to be done, and then to price it. Bill of quantity, plans, bill of quantities, where is it coming from, what's it going to be like. That hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Therein lies the most serious thing of all.
We wouldn't do it for anything else.
Yeah.
You know, and private businesses, your own home.
Yeah.
Ratepayers go out there.
I just want to let Andrew know there's a very important new guest coming. Make sure someone's looking after him. He's standing on the street and he's getting very cold. Okay, thank you. So I just wanted to let him know that.
No
But
problem.
anyway, we will now continue.
Yes. Well,
and-
what I was saying was the ratepayers out there for their own home, for their own living room, if they're going to get a new suite of furniture, going to do up the room, whatever way
Yeah.
they're going to do, they price round as many
Yeah.
places as possible. Make sure they're getting value for money.
Yeah.
We have to do the same. Officers at the council have to do the
Yeah.
same. Council have to do the same.
And
That's what
mummy,
this is
mummy
about.
would say to daddy, and they would say, well, what do we need? There would be a discussion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are we now? That's not happening in council at the moment.
No, it's
Well,
not.
it certainly didn't happen in
It
relation
didn't
to
happen
Irish Parlour.
in relation to that. And I was delighted, Rowan, on Thursday to see cross-party support, generally anyway, Councillor McGreevy from the Sinn Féin party backed me in the specifications. I was talking about specifications too, that we don't get the specification right at tender stage and various other things, and then it's awarded to someone, they know the specification's wrong whenever they win it, and they're able to get more money afterwards. He gave a prime example where there was an air conditioning unit left out of a building, and that was one of the key things that was needed in that building, you know.
Okay.
It was left out of specification, cost us more money. And Councillor Hurty backed my call about the buy local and why we're not spending this money more local if we can, and we should. And
But
Councillor
if
William
that's,
Burns too.
if that's the wish of the council, is it not as simple as you standing up in council and saying, my friends, I propose that from this day forward, everything we purchase within this council will be bought where demonstrably possible, locally. And if it's not to be bought locally, then we need to demonstrate, the important word again, demonstrate, that it's not possible to buy it locally. Why don't you just propose that, get it seconded, and then the problem's done and dusted forever?
Well, my understanding is that is our policy now. Whenever we backed the buy local campaign, the buy local campaign was not about us pointing the finger down the ratepayers, go shop in your local corner shop. That's not what it was about. It was about us as a council leading that, because that's what we are. We're meant to be the leaders of the community, leaders of the local area, and lead by example by buying local ourselves. That's why I backed that campaign. So what you're saying, I believe, is there. Maybe we need to tighten it up. Maybe we'll review it now under this £2,000 procurement policy.
How are you viewed in the council? A troublemaker, a young upstart, somebody to be taken seriously, or someone to be feared?
It's a good question. I do fear that because I'm always challenging these things and trying to find something fresh and new, that I am seen maybe as a troublemaker. But Rowan, I'm not there to be a troublemaker. I got elected to do a job. That job is the job of the ratepayers, which is protection of them, to ensure that they get the frontline services that they need and deserve, and to ensure that we're getting value for money at every final decision that we make.
But that, I'm sure, is the desire of every councillor. I don't see why it would be otherwise.
Yeah, I'd say everyone goes in the council with their the right reasons at the fore. Some people may have been there too long. They've been there a long time. They've been waiting on the review and the merger and the redundancies and all that come with it. That was meant to happen previously.
Sounds to me this sounds to me like a young Turk proposing the final solution for the old and those to be moved on.
Absolutely not. What I think is missing at this moment in time in local government is stability. We've been talking about the review of public administration since 2002. It was meant to happen before the last election, meant to have a merger. We're still looking to see is it going to happen. There's still rumours out there it's not going to happen. And that's something else, Rowan, where I actually proposed at the last council meeting that we stop the payment of £226,000 from ratepayers' money going in to fund this merger up until the end of March. 8.6 million is what we're talking about. The merge these two councils. Majority of that is on redundancy of staff. The majority of that money is going to have to come from the ratepayers. It's not coming from central government, even though it's a central government policy to deliver this. So who's going to pay for it? You and I, paying our rates. What's it going to go up by 15, 20% to cover that? Where's the savings going to come from? I don't see it. So I blocked that last time too, and I think we had 99% of the councillors backed that decision, because what I said was put it back to central government, tell them to fund this £226,000. £226,000 to stick your rates up 0.5% straight away like that.
Your council's decision to fund the make a contribution to the Narrow Water Bridge, I'm assuming that has to be borrowed.
It would borrow money, yes.
Yeah.
And
but then I'm just wondering, if you're no longer going to be a council in 2-3 years' time, who's going to lend it to you?
Well, it all comes out of central government. It's lending from there, and I think it's somewhere in the region of 1.5% at the minute. It's the lowest lending that we could possibly do.
Yeah. Maybe you've got the okay on that. When you've given the undertaking,
the okay,
you know they will lend it to you.
Oh, absolutely. And the money down this council have already said they'll have £500,000 borrowings towards it too. That'll all be consolidated as a loan for the new council, and we're talking somewhere in the region 75-80 million. That's what I'm saying.
But at this stage, we just need a few million from Stormont to sort the thing out.
Yeah, absolutely. Simon Hamilton just needs to say, look, I'm happy to give £1 million, £2 million, whatever it is, to let Dublin also have to think about the politics of this too. To throw £7 million or €7 million at it in light of all their budget cuts and hospitals under threat and all the rest of it, it's very difficult for them politically without getting the backing from the Northern Executive.
Okay, go well. Conor McGreevy,
That's
thank
good.
you as
Thank you.
always. We play you some music now. Thank you.